Hi, I'm Tommy McDonald, host of Rough Cut Woodworking, seen nationally on PBS. Now, if you own a table saw, you know the challenges of trying to get repeatable, accurate cuts, especially when it comes to cross cuts. Now, typically, this is your standard miter fence. The way they work is that it's really thin here, and you need to attach something to the face. Now, the reason why I don't like these is because if I go to cut something long, you can see that I just have nothing hanging off the end. And if I attach something to it, it still has a lot of play out here on the end. Now, most guys, they'll take the time to make what's called a boat. Check it out. Now, it's basically just a piece of plywood. When you flip it over, you can see that it has a piece of solid screwed to the bottom. It goes right inside the slot this way here. Now, the problem is, because it's a piece of wood, it's going to have seasonal movement. And you can see, you hear that right there? This is definitely not accurate. So finally, I came across a system that I just fell in love with. Let me show you what it is. It's called the MICROJIG ZEROPLAY Guide Bar System. This is how it works. Now, it has two pieces of hard metal. One has these inserts in them that are threaded. Both of them have these wedges. They go together just like this, and when you slide them up and down, you can see that they get either narrow or thick. The way they work is so slick, you're just going to love it. But you're going to need a little bit of money, a couple of nickels, all right? You put the nickels inside the slot just like so. The reason why we need the nickels is because you want to take the guide bar system and drop it right inside the miter slot without it getting lost inside the very bottom of the slot. This thing's not designed to ride on the bottom of that slot, just on the sides of it, okay? Now, really, really simple. You can see that I've already got the screws inside the bars. What you want to do is just make sure they're loose, and then with your forefinger and your Allen wrench that comes with it, you hold on to the Allen wrench right here in the middle, and you lightly push it until it snugs up. Now trust me, too much pressure is not going to make this thing work. So light pressure is the key, and once you have that light pressure, you hold it down and you tighten the middle screw. All right, let me do the other ones. All right, that's pretty tight. You are just going to love the way these work. All right, get the nickels out of the way. Huh? Look at this, baby. Slides back and forth, and since it's not a piece of wood, I know it'll always stay perfect. Now, usually the challenge with doing one of these boats is getting super aggravated trying to figure out how to get this onto the piece of plywood. This system is super easy, and the reason is because you put the screws in from the top. Really simple. I just drew a straight line on a piece of plywood using my square, and then I took my guide bar and I held it right next to my line, and where the threaded inserts were, I just drilled a few oversized holes, grabbed the screws that came with it, and screwed it down. Now, the tip, don't tighten them all the way down, because you want to make sure, especially when you have two of them on the piece of plywood, that they go easily inside the slot. Once they move up and down, no problem, grab a screwdriver and just tighten them down. All right, there we go. It's still working. Now that I know it's securely on my piece of plywood, I'm just going to grab my safety gear and make my first cut. Pretty simple, right? Now I know my guide bar and my blade are perfectly parallel with each other, and nothing's going to change that. So, how do we get a fence on this? I know a lot of you agonize over this fence, but you really don't need to. What you want to do is grab yourself a framing square. Now, the reason why I use a framing square is because I have a nice long surface here on the side of my piece of plywood. I'm going to hold it on here, just like so. Grab a pen and make a mark. All the way down, okay? Now, it's just a matter of me taking a piece of solid and screwing it down. Now, you can see that we have the guide bars on, my parallel cut, and I glued and screwed my fence on as close as possible. All right, well, let's put it into place, grab a piece of wood, and see how we made out. Cool. Now let's see how we made out. What I want to do is I want to take my square, I'm going to hold it against the side that was against my fence, And I'm just gonna come down slowly, all right? Like wicked slow. So when I hold the combination square down, I can see right here on the end that it's just not perfect. You can almost see light in between. Now I'm talking thousandths of an inch, all right? For most of the time, this is gonna work perfectly. But for those nuts out there, or for the guys who need to get that super accurate cut, me included, every once in a while, we need to make it up. So instead of taking this thing and tossing it away and trying to monkey around with all these things and maybe spending all day Saturday doing it, I'm just gonna make a shim. Really simple shim. It's a piece of tape. I'm just gonna put it right down here on the end where your board is. Then we can make another cut and double check. All right, cut number 2. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, look at that. That is like perfect, all right? Now, if it was still a little bit loose, I would just grab another piece of tape and put it on there. But the point is, the level of accuracy that you can achieve using that guide bar system is really incredible, as long as you build your boat around that guide bar. When it comes to miter fences, the inaccuracies just don't stop over the table saw. You can see I'm at my brand new bandsaw, and listen, even this miter fence is a little bit inaccurate. So I took the 5 minutes required and I put on the ZEROPLAY right here at the bandsaw so I can make accurate, repeatable cuts. So do yourself a favor, take the 15 minutes it takes to make either one of these jigs, and you'll get repeatable, accurate cuts every time you're behind the saw. I'm Tommy McDonald. Thanks for watching.